When it comes to the PlayStation, this device has an unofficial 7-year refresh cycle. The PS4 was released in 2013, PS5 2020, PS5 Pro a mid-generation update 2024, and all this points to a late 2027 release date for the next-gen PS6 console. So while not imminent, we are beginning to get the first wave of leaks and insights into this upcoming device and its capabilities, and here we're going to do a broad level overview of what we are anticipating for this next-gen console. Now, it wouldn't be a next-gen console without a major performance boost, and the PS6 will almost certainly stick with AMD for their chips and probably have a custom-made chip in collaboration with Sony. After all, this is what they did with the current PS5, which is based off of a Zen 2 CPU architecture and an RDNA 5 GPU architecture. And this gave the PS5 about 10 teraflops of GPU performance and 16 teraflops for the newer PS5 Pro. But this hardware is already pretty outdated, with Zen 5 and RDNA 4 respectively being the latest architecture. And by the time the PS6 comes out, we're going to be on Zen 6 and RDNA 5 architecture. And this will undoubtedly be a huge performance boost. The new architecture is going to bring 3, potentially even a 2nm node process, higher clock speeds, better ray tracing, AI frame generation, a lot of efficiency gains, and essentially across the board just be a much more capable chip. And more specifically, as of right now, we think the PS6 will have 8 or 10 of the Zen 6 CPU cores and an RDNA 5 GPU with about 50 compute units for a total GPU power of about 35 teraflops. And just to give that number some context, right now, the latest top-end APU from AMD is the 395 Plus. And in terms of its gaming capabilities, this thing has been blowing people away. This thing is both small and efficient enough to be used in small handheld PCs, and can still run essentially any game at high settings and get super playable frame rates. And the GPU in this chip is based off of RDNA 3.5 architecture with 40 compute units, giving it just under 30 teraflops of computational power. So this tells us that the PS6 is on schedule to be an absolute beast of a gaming console, potentially representing the biggest generational leap so far. So we could expect the PS6 to have a slim design, ultra quiet cooling fans, and 4K high frame rate gaming on the base model. And I say base model because we have word of potentially multiple variants at launch or soon thereafter. And the strategy here could be to keep the base PS6 affordable. Current rumors point to a $600-ish price point. And then we could have something like a PS6S that has a more beefy version of the processor, potentially more compute units in the GPU that can handle additional things like VR and 8K gaming. And potentially most interesting of all, there's also a possibility of a handheld version of the PS6. And this would be a true independent handheld gaming console, more like the Nintendo Switch versus the previous PlayStation Portal. And rumors even indicate that there could be a docking mode similar to the Nintendo Switch when you want to use this on a bigger display. Now, I will be updating you guys as we get more information, but as of right now, the broad level overview is that the PS6 is expected to launch in late 2027, probably the holiday season if all things go according to plan. And thanks to massive improvements in chip technology, this is going to be a huge performance upgrade over the existing PS5 and PS5 Pro. And these chip designs could give Sony the flexibility to have multiple variants of the PS6, either at launch or shortly thereafter, including possibly a high performance version and a handheld version. But definitely let us know your take in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.